Are you a DM with a murder hobo problem? Do your players need to pay for all of their murderous bloodlust and disregard for innocent life? Consider Redcaps. Redcaps are tiny demonic looking gnomes that are frighteningly strong and shockingly fast. Steeped in slaughter, these little buggers will have your murder hobos paying for every time they kill one of your favorite NPCs.
JNJtabletop is not responsible for hurt feelings, TPKs, or an abundance of NPCs being murdered by Redcaps. If you think Redcaps are right for you, please consult a DM or visit page 188 of Volo's Guide to Monsters today.
How's it going, everybody? I am Jake, and this is Josh, and welcome to our third installment of the Creature Feature. This time, we're continuing the Fae theme that we're going with because of the Wild Beyond the Witchlight, which will release on September 21st. And the Red Cap is a fun one, Josh. What do you think? What do we got in store for us today?
Yeah, so we're going to go over some lore, abilities, tactics, and then maybe just a couple of ideas so you could get a little spicy and get a little crazy and just some fun thoughts that we had there. But I mean, before we get into that, if everybody, if you could just do me this big favor and just smack that subscribe button. We don't usually say it in the beginning, so I'm trying something new. Smack the subscribe button and the bell. Do it. But lore for the Red Cap, right? They're freaking crazy, right?
Yeah, that's the word for it. Absolutely.
I mean, they are a homicidal fey creature born of bloodlust. Redcaps, although small, have formidable strength, which they use to hunt and kill without hesitation or regret.
If that's not selling you on this, I don't know what is, because they're small, chaotic evil, frighteningly strong. They have a strength of 18 when it comes to 5e. Like, these are little gnomes are just gonna come over and punch your players in the face.
And the way that they're born, I think, is my favorite. You probably heard Jake say it in the intro before. Born from bloodlust. These creatures, they're literally born when there's some sort of like bloodthirsty fight or something along those lines, and that blood is soaked into the ground. Well, for whatever reason, some sort of fey magic just creates this little mushroom-like thing. But before the first moonlight, or right after the first moonlight, suddenly this little mushroom turns into a little nasty gnome-like creature, but like super evil with these like massive iron boots and this massive, they call it a wicked sickle. And it just goes and it literally has to kill things, and that's what it does.
Yeah, I keep thinking of like Frosty the Snowman. Like there must have been some dark magic in that pile of blood they found.
Oh my god. Yeah.
These little things just come out. They're gonna come and get you. But yeah, these little guys, they don't operate in groups typically. However, under some circumstances, you might find a group of them working, whether they're with like some hags or like some kind of dark mage that like maybe binds them to their service of some sort of method or another, and they put them to work. This is, like we said in the intro, this is like the perfect kind of enemy to use to teach your players that you just need to stop killing everything that you find. Like, come on, let some people live, would you?
We took a look back at like older editions. Some editions call them like Spriggans. And there's another word that I don't know how it's pronounced, but it's potpourri,
It's like a potpourri.
powri, like potpourri. Yeah,
Yeah,
potpourri.
it's like fey. This is
Yeah.
basically fey potpourri. They're gonna
Oh
get
yeah,
you.
that's exactly what it is. But also, if you know how that's pronounced, just spell it out below for us. That would be very helpful.
And I know this says they don't normally operate in groups, but to me, I just think a swarm of these guys would just be frightening, like absolutely terrifying.
Especially, I just imagine like the visual and the sound, just seeing or hearing these thunderous booming footsteps because they have these massive iron boots, which by the way gives them disadvantage on stealth. So
Yep.
like you hear these like these just thunderous steps. It almost sounds like a giant's coming towards you. Maybe the shadow, like the light hits them a certain way, so that's this giant shadow and then this little tiny thing. but it's still just as terrifying because it's they're making
Yes.
like I don't even know what's more scary. You're expecting a giant and you see one of these guys, or you're expecting a giant and you see a giant. Like I don't know.
So, in case you haven't guessed it, these guys and gals lack subtlety. They are just as direct as it gets. They see a target, they want to kill the target. Very straightforward. There is no talking. There is just fighting. They're steeped in slaughter. When a red cap is born, its hat is coated with this wet blood, and it knows that if that blood is not replenished at least once every 3 days, and they vanish, and they as if they had never been there. So their murderous bloodlust, which may or may not mirror your own player's murderous bloodlust, is actually steeped in its will to survive. So it is literally kill or be killed for these guys.
I don't know, that kind of humanizes them a little bit. They don't kill because they want to, they kill because they need to,
They're like
you know?
vampires, Josh.
Yeah, they're like vampires,
They have to.
they're like liches. They don't want to turn into a demi-lich,
Yeah.
you know?
God, imagine vampiring one of these things.
Oh my god.
It's just up the bloodlust even more.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, wow. Okay, that's a conversation for another time, but I mean like a vampire that has that ability where every 3 days it has to feed, otherwise it's going to die.
Dunzo.
Like that that's gonna ooh, okay, we'll talk about that another time. Comment below if you want us to talk about that another time. Let's get into some abilities for these guys. We kind of already mentioned it before. They're like super strong, like really strong. But one of their abilities in fifth edition at least, it's called outsized strength. While grappling, the red cap is considered to be medium, even though they are a small creature. Also, while they are wielding a heavy weapon, it does not impose disadvantage on attack rolls.
I love that.
Like, there's just these little tiny dudes with these massive, wicked sickles
Chopping
running
down a
around.
tree with a great axe. These little
Yeah.
guys.
And your barbarian who's like, I don't know, 6'3", goes to like grab, oh, I'll just grab them and it'll be fine. And it's like, nope, no. They're actually just as strong as you because they have an 18 strength and their size counts as medium when they're grappling. It's just
Yeah,
it's
you
it's
gotta
just
love
love
that.
you love to see it.
As far as their abilities go, I think their opening move is the Ironbound Pursuit, right? So we
Oh my
mentioned
god.
that they're shockingly fast. So their speed is 25. They're small. They're a gnome. That's pretty standard. However, as an action, they can move up to their speed, so another 25 feet, and it tries to kick the creature with their iron boots, forcing a DC 14 dex save. And if they fail the dex save, it takes 3d10 plus 4 bludgeoning damage and is knocked prone. So they all can just swarm on this thing with advantage and just go nuts on this thing. They're just trying to curb stomp their enemies. That's all it is. They're just
Okay.
trying to make it messy, and that's why they're so deadly, because that's how they have to feed.
And that's why I think they would work so well in groups because that ironbound pursuit, yeah, it's just one option and it is kind of save or suck, but something runs in there, knocks you down, deals a pretty good amount of damage for CR3, 3d10 plus 4, and then you're knocked prone. If they want initiative and you have like 3 or 4 of these guys coming, and then they come in with their multi attack, which they get 3 attacks with their sickle, they do 2d4 plus 4 slashing. Sure, that's not a ton, but it's 3 times. That could be devastating. If CR3, you're going to be pretty low level. That could really, really ruin your day. But oh my god, that's such an amazing visual to see. As far as tactics go, I don't think they really have tactics outside of what Jake just said. They're going to run in with that ironbound pursuit, knock you down. They're going to hit you with everything they have, and they are not going to retreat until they die or you die. That's it. They're fighting to survive, winning or dying. That's the only outcomes.
Yeah, so if you're running an encounter and you're using red caps, and like sometimes when you're a DM and you're running an encounter and you see that your side is not doing well, you consider, is there a situation in which they would retreat? You don't have to worry about that here. That's it. They just fight till they die or you die. The reason why I love this so much is because you can tell stories of rage or passionate anger of some kind, right? So if there is some kind of a murder mystery that you have going on, and perhaps there is a killer that's on the loose, but these red caps keep coming out. It's like a serial killer that's like mutilating things around a town or a city. And why are these little red caps now all of a sudden also murdering people in the city? What's going on? It's a symptom of the problem, but it might look like it's the actual problem, but there might be something deeper. That sounds like a fun story to tell.
It's a great opportunity to go into the Feywild as well because people on the outside might not know as much about these creatures. So you might have to go into the Fey, make a deal with the Fey, find out more, and then suddenly you find out, oh, hey, these creatures are only coming here because someone else is doing the killing. And because of like Fey time and all that stuff, maybe that'll only take a couple minutes, and then you could get right back and save the day and figure out the mystery.
Yikes,
I don't
Josh.
know.
Could you imagine if days became years? And that would be very bad
Oh,
in this
oh,
situation.
gee, yeah, that would be really. Oh my God, you come back
It just
and
keeps
it's just
going.
like it's an apocalyptic wasteland of just red caps like everywhere. The only other real like story I could see with red caps, I mean, there's plenty, but the one that comes to mind is kind of what we were joking about in the intro, right? If you play in a world where there are consequences, well, if your players are just killing out of bloodlust, which whether you think it doesn't happen or not, like there are a lot of players, whether they're barbarians or rogues or whatever. There's a lot of players out there. Just kill just for the fun of it. If that's happening, well, feel free to spawn a few red caps from that last kill. And one of the features that we actually didn't mention, red caps, is that they sense the being whose murderous acts led to their birth, and they might use that innate connection to find said creatures. So that just, okay, well, you caused this, and they know how to find you. And there are kind of two options that come there. Like they might go over to you because you're a kindred spirit, or they might go to you because they want you to be their first victim.
Like, oh,
So
you like killing people violently too? Can we be friends? We could do a lot of good work together. Kind of the mindset. But I also kind of thought of if you wanted to tell a story with like some kind of Fey warlord that comes from the Feywild and comes out and wants to start to conquer things in the material plane. Well, maybe they know that if they murder something violently, that they're going to start building an army. And now they start doing that all over the place. And before you know it, there's an army of these things marching through village after village, and their numbers just keep growing and growing and growing, and nobody understands why. There's so many different stories you could tell. Maybe they do that so that they leave behind like a force that's gonna just make sure it culls the population as they go through, because they know that these red caps are gonna spawn and just try and find things to kill, disrupt
man,
supply lines. It could be, yeah, anything,
yeah,
any creature that has knowledge of how these things are made or how they're used in their nature, just go nuts with it, have fun.
yep, yeah. Why wouldn't they go into a rival enemy's village and just kill someone, throw the body in the forest so that one of these creatures spawns, just to cause trouble for them.
Yeah, just get a little moonlight. Just add moonlight, there you go.
Yeah, yeah, right. Oh man, we should have added that in the intro. Just add moonlight. If you've ever used a red cap in your game, we would really, really love to hear about that. Please let us know about it in the comments below. And if you have any ideas for how you would use a red cap, or just stories about fighting one, we'd also like to hear about that. So please let us know in the comments, or also just pop that link in the doobly doo. Go over to our Discord. We can talk about it there because we genuinely love having these conversations with you. So please like, comment, and subscribe if you liked what you saw. Check out this playlist because we have so many videos. Creature features, we have 3 of them. We have a monster mash, and we're going to be doing more of these Fae-themed videos as we continue this little Fae marathon. I don't know what we call it. Fae series, I guess, is a better word. So hope you had a fun time here. Hit that bell so you find out when we'd have videos coming up next. We'll see you on the next time.
Like, is it bad that I seem to think this is like gonna be this kind of murder level is fun? I mean, it's like both murderous and cute and fun. Like, that's the selling point for these
Well,
things.
that's the whole selling point of the Feywild in general. It's like, oh, everything's happy,
Yeah.
everything's fine, everything's like it's
It just comes
it's
out of nowhere.
oh, man. But yeah, I mean, I'm here for it. I love it.
Mhm.